Coming up on tonight's program, Dunk makes a bodily sound. I say some seriously fucking fucked up swear words, and we get into absolutely nothing.
Nipple chips. Get them while they're hot.
I had to do that intro because Kellahella in the chat said, and we're back, which is the Clarkson thing, right? You know. How's it going, everybody?
Oh, it's all hunky-dory, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, well, yeah. No.
Not really.
No, not really.
For us, on a personal level, it probably is. You know, my life's okay. Oh my God, did I dummy out again and overdo it with the painkillers a couple of days ago? But it's a thing where they switched my thing, and I didn't wear the reading glasses. And the last time I took them, I took too much, and I was done for. Right. So this time, now that I know better, I took the proper amount. But I'm not a pill person. It doesn't work for me. And that knocked me out again. So next time, I know it's not exactly what you're supposed to do, but I think I'll use one of those pill splitters and split them in half.
Yeah.
You know? I'm very much a CBD person. I don't like pills, right? But you got to do it sometimes when you're a guy like me. And wow. It fucks my shit up.
It was funny. The chat was all going, is there a pub chat tonight? So Dick was talking about a pub chat. I said, well, yeah, he was talking about it. And so I sent him a text message and everything. So I just said, oh, he's asleep.
Yeah. I was on the couch with a piece of peanut butter toast stuck to my shirt, man. You know?
I said, he's the fucking weakest link to this entire channel.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I really am. It sucks, right? You know, I try to,
Yeah, we're going to vote you out.
That'll work well for you.
We're going to deport you.
Coming at you live from El Salvador, it's the Shills.
Yeah, from Alligator Alcatraz. He's ankle deep in rainwater, but no worries, he's still here.
And I wouldn't be like Crocodile Dundee doing it all by hand. I'd be more like MacGyver. I'd be using technology to get me through. So if you want a sci-fi twist on it, yeah, maybe I should get arrested.
Yeah. Just put the entire show together with a few bits of a chewing gum wrapper, a paper clip, an elastic band.
Yeah. Oh man.
That was a really cool show, MacGyver, the original one. You know,
the original one. Yeah.
I just love the fact. I mean, I always love this kind of like storyline in American TV when you've got somebody who is not in favor of guns. Because, you know, in all these shows, you know, you always see them. They're always just like whipping their guns out and there's a gunfight going every single fucking time. But I just love the concept of someone who just, you know, didn't carry a gun.
Yeah,
you know, like Columbo as well. Sorry. Yeah, remember Columbo? Because he never carried a gun and he was always being harassed by the police department that he hasn't done his, his gun safety checks and all that. Yeah. He hasn't been down to the range.
I remember that. I remember that very much. Columbo. That was an interesting show in its day. You know, it was good.
Sometimes it was good. Sometimes it was terrible.
Well, that was all shows in the history of television, to be honest.
True.
Right?
True, I suppose.
Well, even Monty Python have done skits that didn't work.
I always hated the they got a lot of failures under their belt, but I didn't like the Columbo shows where the murderer, so like Columbo knows he's the murderer, but kind of gets him to team up with him. to help solve the crime, and it's like the murderer is practically just giving away all the information while he's doing it. Columbo's not doing any investigating; he's just getting him to just tell him how he did it.
or you get Columbo in the interrogation room with the suspect and the cop, and he's looking at them both at the same time. You're really not sure who he's talking to.
Well, he did have a wobbly eye.
Yeah. Peter Falk, right? Great actor though, Peter Falk. I really like him.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
He was good at Columbo.
Yeah. And
he was a bit of an asshole, apparently.
I wouldn't doubt it. He was the garage guy in Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage, the movie with the people that hold the copyright to the name Eleanor and treat it like it's the end all be all to life, even though the real Eleanor was a Mach 1 Mustang. So figure that out. I don't know.
Okay.
The people that own the name Eleanor from that movie, Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage, have litigated YouTubers for saying I'm building an Eleanor tribute car, to the point where they have had lawyers go in and take the car.
Right.
They are the worst human beings in the world, but the name Eleanor as a Mustang for Gone in 60 Seconds, if you go back to the first movie, is not the GT350 Shelby that was slightly dressed for the Nicolas Cage movie. It's a Mach 1 Mustang.
So what about Eleanor Roosevelt? Are we allowed to talk about him or not? Or has he been taken away?
I don't know where to go with that one.
Good old Uncle Eleanor. Used to like him until he got seized by some car company.
That was the start of the rainbow, I guess, right? Oh.
I did some work on the car today. I love it. I love it when you got like a 5-minute job that takes you an hour.
You're lucky it only took an hour, right? In this day and age, you'll watch a 7-minute YouTube video. This is how it's done, and then expecting it to take 7 minutes.
Yeah, so I watched a video yesterday of someone's dismantling the entire brake system of a car and then putting it back together again. In it was an 8-minute video, and there was just me sticking on some fucking trim. It took me like an hour.
Yeah, it's tough, especially you're not used to the clip release and the way the clips let go and go in, and you're all hesitant. And somebody with experience, they just go pop, pop, pop.
Oh
pop,
yeah. I can do that. I can do the pop, pop, pop. It was putting it back was the problem because they weren't going back right and snapping.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, I got a big bag of spare clips, but. Yeah.
Sounds like Israelis and Palestinians having lunch. Oh, did we, PJ in the chat there, did we get rid of Steve? Have we lost that little thing that we had on the other show? Is that gone now?
Oh, I'd have to move to another channel.
Yeah, which would be hard for somebody who still lives in mommy's basement.
Mommy's womb.
Yeah, we had one of those I would call them bots, but I do believe this guy gets paid about $3 an hour. So I understand having a diehard view on a situation, but the Israeli-Palestine situation, as far as I'm concerned, the only diehard view should be stop killing.
Yeah, the opposite to Die Hard. Yeah. The less of the die bit.
Yeah,
that would be good.
And if I have to say it, I'm sorry, Israel, but back the fuck off. You're not in a position of being threatened right now. Relax.
Well, there's a old expression, beating a dead horse, and it's kind of like that's what they seem to be doing.
I tried so hard not to take sides, but
yeah,
I don't like no bully bullshit.
Yeah, if you want to deal with Hamas, deal with Hamas, but leave the poor kids alone.
Yeah, exactly. A group in a country does not a country make, right?
Yeah, and leave the journalists alone. Leave the fucking
children,
charities. People coming in to help. That's weird.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to play the line as a white boy from Canada that's supposed to play, right? I'm supposed to be, and yet I'm not doing that for anybody who's putting their foot down on somebody else. There's no fucking way, man. I'm just not.
So the funny, interesting thing is Palestine isn't like a huge area. It's quite small.
Yeah.
And you'd think the Israeli intelligence would be able to go in and just take Hamas out.
Yeah.
Individuals with a sniper.
Yeah. You go through your history. I don't know if I'm correct here, but I do believe I am. But Palestinians been in that exact part of the world a hell of a lot longer than lots of people who want them out. So I just stop killing each other. Just Jesus Christ. I hate to invoke him in this fight because maybe that was the wrong thing to say, but I mean, seriously, stop killing. We've got to be able to figure this stuff out as civilized people. We just got to. Come on. We've just got to.
Can you imagine if Jesus Christ came back and he's, it's basically his homeland. It's his hometown.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And he's going to go there and go, just cut this fucking crap out, you bastards.
Yeah. Well, seriously, like if
none of this blessed other cheesemakers.
Yeah, but if the man himself was here, he would tell those in Israeli power, stop trying to make Jerusalem only yours and open it up to everybody that wants to worship in their own way and stuff. I mean, it seems to me the only thing he gave about was profit for belief.
Yeah.
I don't know,
He was a shit carpenter. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he couldn't hang a plumb line to save his life, so he went into public speaking, right?
I got him to fit some kitchen cabinets on mine. In my place, it was terrible. Or maybe it was a different Jesus. I don't know, mate.
Yeah. El Savior Christ, right? He's the Mexican guy. Hispanic, he was a good speaker.
My name's Jesus. Of Nazareth? No, Mexico. Oh, wrong one.
Yeah. No, the guy with the lowrider, man. He's cruising down the street looking good with his deuce chops and all. Yeah,
Now you've done it. Now I want to see a remake of the Jesus story, but have a Mexican play Jesus.
Hey man, I was born in East LA,
I'll go, look at me.
What's happening? Yeah, somebody in the live chat there, where was it? Broadcast Cat Cheech. Yeah, that's exactly where I was leaning on 100%. I hope that this is allowed to be funny and we're not continuously pissing people off because, I mean, seriously, but it's so ugly and it's so terrible. And we're all living through this really transitionally terrible time that we don't like. Can't we have a little bit of a laugh at it as we consume all the terrible and awful all day long,
Yeah. I mean, it's just the whole world's just gone to shit. I mean,
totally,
it's all happened so quickly. I mean, last year wasn't this bad. I know Ukraine had its issues and all that kind of stuff, but
I
Yeah.
haven't known
A
you
year ago.
long enough for life to suck this much, you know? Fuck.
Mm.
And I've known you a while, but even still, you know, there's no, like, when we first met compared to now, politically and geopolitically in the world, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing. When we got together, you know, you said it before, we were like taking the piss out of flat earthers and things like that because, well, the world was at peace.
Yeah, there was nothing else to do, right? You know, what am I supposed to do when I get drunk? I need a target. You know, I need somebody to poke fun at. You know,
Yeah.
I had flat earthers, mud flutters, cryptid believers, and yada yada. And then all of a sudden, Trump just stepped in and gave it the old. And we had to switch our focus, right?
Oh, we have a Ko-Fi donation, by the way.
Oh, we do? Oh, Lord Thunder and Jesus. It's none other than our own AI alchemist, the Carpathian, there in the chat for the beer fund. Oh, yeah. Well done, son. You know, you guys, if you're not paying attention out there, Carpathian, the AI alchemist on our channel, he does 75% of our thumbnails. He does basically every picture and whatnot you see me bring up on the 42 show. Pretty valuable member of the team at this point. So big applause and hats off to Carpathian. And you can hire him if you're one of those lucky people who is fighting against the system and hanging out in the background and looking for somebody who can champion your message. And if you are lucky enough and you have the cash, maybe you can hire the Carpathian.
So what you're saying, Batman could hire him?
Well, I think more Robin because he had the bigger package, right? You know, he
used it a lot more. He was a dirty little bastard from what I heard.
Yeah. They didn't call him the Boy Wonder for nothing, right?
Boy, I'll show you he was a boy.
Yeah. There's stories about how they had to use gaffer tape to tame that thing to keep it in the spandex, you know?
Dear.
That's funny. That's funny. You know what's really funny to me? Burt Ward as Robin back in the original has that whole, you know, holy Thundercats Batman thing going on or whatever, right? You know?
Yeah. It's like a straight out of like fucking Happy Days or something.
Yeah, like he sounds like one of the monkeys, and they finally gave him crystal methamphetamine, right? You know, and then you get to a point in superheroes where Casey Kasem from the American Top 40, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And he
Scooby-Doo,
does
Shaggy.
Yeah, he does Shaggy and all kinds of comic voices. He's actually all over the map. And my primitive little, you know, teenager, preteen brain, I thought Casey Kasem was Burt Ward. So whenever I used to listen to the American Top 40 when I was like 11 years old, I thought it was Casey or Burt Ward, and that's the voice I put to the. And then when I finally saw who Casey Kasem was, it broke reality for me. Right?
I know, because we used to get Casey Kasem's
top. Kid had a big cock, you know. Like
we got Casey Kasem's America's Top 40 sort of thing. Late night TV. Oh, don't know when. Back in the 80s, it started playing or something.
Probably after top of the pops, right?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's Casey Kasem. You know, the guy who does, you know, Shaggy from Scooby. And this little tiny little old man
Yeah.
shows up, and it's like, well, it's like Carl Sagan's brother who didn't quite get the science degree.
Yeah, he's the Bob Dylan brother who didn't succumb to drug addiction, right? You know.
he just like, you know, there was all these like times back on old British TV where you had like shows where, you know, they're talking about, you know, hit records in the charts. You know, what's going to be number one in the charts, and you got some old fart in a tweed suit and a tie, and it's like you're the last person to know anything about, you know, modern pop music. You know,
yeah, he's some early boomer that's been grooming musicians for 15 years, right? You know.
I always thought that was really strange about DJs when you actually see some of them, you know, they're just not as cool as they they seem to be. Yeah. Hello, pop pickers.
Yeah.
Some crinkly old man who's on a fucking list with the police.
Exactly, right? You know. I saw you. You were close to the parking lot at the local high school.
Yeah.
I was just checking the water main, promise, you know. Kind of guy that gets busted sniffing the seats of bicycles that are pink. You know?
Now, what would have been what would have been ironic if Project U Tree back in the day, which was the one was looking into, so like you know all these naughty dealings of celebrities and stuff. Now it would have been funny if they had a chart. Moving up from the 10th position to number 1 is Jimmy Savile. For the 10th week running, Jimmy Savile at number 1.
He just beat Little Richard, you know. Yeah.
Moving down a slot, which is probably not the right language to use. Yeah, dear me. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, funny enough, all his background singers come from the Catholic Church. You know, they're only 12, but they're really seasoned. You know, it's just
always hit the high notes.
If you're wondering, I don't hit the Catholic Church lightly as a Canadian. We have this thing going on in our country where Catholic schools that had youth that were forcibly removed from native homes so that they could be taught to be less savage. I'm not shitting you. This is how it works. A lot of these schools, we're finding that they have a lot of anonymous graves.
Yeah.
It's really nasty. It's got to the point where the public is saturated with the news and it's not hitting as hard as it was before, but it's still a reality and it's some seriously ugly shit.
Yeah, they found another one very recently, just in the last month.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I always try to remind people not every Canadian is a white Catholic. And as such, when you have some seriously generational anger that you would like to let out, remember, some of us are right with you. Right? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, there must be an awful lot of
it's really bad, man.
People have been traumatized from that.
Yeah, it's really bad, man.
There's a lot of comedians, you know, have come from the Catholic Church. You know, there's a Irish fellow you keep talking about who's got half a finger missing. Can't remember his name. You know him. What's his bloody name? But he was always talking about the Catholic Church. And there's a lot of comedians that have a go at the Catholic Church, and because they were tortured by it, you know, they've come out burned, and they're coming out kicking on the other side.
Yeah.
And
there's a dude in my son's life from the other side of the family who is one of the survivors from the maritime system of these schools, which is really bad. And he got one hell of a payout because of it. And I can tell you firsthand from knowing this person that payout of like 90 grand or whatever does nothing to alleviate the situation that you have lived in all your life.
Yeah, it's like you can be paid out millions, but you're still going to wake up in the middle of the night with a sweaty nightmare.
Exactly. It's so bad.
You can't fix that.
And none of these people were paid out millions, dude. We're only talking hundreds of thousands, and even not big numbers, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that, you know, even if you were, it wouldn't make it doesn't make any difference.
No, it doesn't at all. It's ugly. It's terrible, and
although we're not having to go at all the Catholics. I'm sure there's some, you know, really nice ones out there. So,
dude, I've said it many times on this channel. There's many people who find religion in their life, and it leads them to a great life. And I mean, none of them any ill will when I talk ill of religion, because we're usually talking about zealots and people that take it too far. Whereas there's a decent life lesson in there, and if it works for you, go ahead. You know, I don't hate you for it. You know?
I must admit, I don't think I've actually met a Catholic that hasn't got a fucked up story in their life. So maybe it's across the board. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't in it.
I
was too busy being a Scientologist.
I tried to leave it on a side of welcomeness and openness, and so I'm just gonna shut up now.
Hey, I tell you what, it's funny because when I saw years and years ago the Church of Science, Scientology, and I thought, oh, that's a nice concept. Oh, we take religion, we take the Bible, and look at it from a scientific point of view.
That's what I thought at first, dude. When I heard about it, I was like, "Are you kidding? This is everything I thought of since I owned a Commodore VIC-20." You know?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, everything's been run by green aliens from another planet. And hey, what? Hey, what? Yeah. was that in Genesis or in the New Testament? I can't remember. But
yeah. It turns out L. Ron Hubbard,
the aliens now.
L. Ron Hubbard is pissed off because you used a Z80 processor in your youth, not a 6502. It's just.
Well, I don't blame him.
Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, I like the idea of a spaghetti monster overlord because it's one of my more favorite meals. So, right?
Yeah, but he's chewing on his meatballs. He did not very nice.
I'm not chewing on anybody's meatballs.
That's getting to sound a bit more like the Catholic Church again.
Yeah. No. It's all about the selection of razor to separate said ball into the plate, so you don't have to. Yeah,
no, that's Jewish. That's too Jewish.
Yeah, we call it a brass. It's where we separate your testicles, not your little, pea covering.
What is this obsession in religious, cultures of snipping bits off the human body?
I don't get it.
Yeah, I know we're created in God's image, but not that bit.
There's cultures that do this to women, and I'm sorry, but I've seen a thing called pornography, and that's not right. You just leave it alone because God did it correctly. Trust me, I've been there.
I know, but what makes you think that? Look, God designed your body, and but that gives you pleasure. You're not allowed that bit.
I know.
God put it there. He's like, oh no. Apparently, he made a mistake.
Yeah.
If you check, you check up the Haynes manual that God written out for the human body. It doesn't have that part listed.
I do take issue as somebody who was a bit of a loudmouth at the age of 13 with the whole male reproductive things being hanging on the outside, because when they get kicked, it sucks. But it does teach you to shut your mouth. So
Yeah, but it's also got easy access for the prostitutes. And I think that's in the Bible.
It should be, right?
Well, Jesus married one.
Oh God. Isn't that what Magneto said in that movie with the guy who understands Egyptology symbols? Or
What's that? X-Men. Oh, you mean Dan Brown? Yeah. What do we call it? The Leonardo da Vinci files.
Forrest Gump running around with that cute little brunette chick, right?
Yeah. I should know this because I fucking worked on it. The Da Vinci files. The Da Vinci Code. The X Files Da Vinci Code. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. He does pretty much play Fox Mulder lost in a cloud. I like what's his name? That French actor, Rene, whatever his name is.
Rene Russo.
Yeah, he is so good in that movie. He is what makes it awesome in my mind. His relentless, And what's his name? The guy in the Marvel movies who becomes the robot that becomes a person that's not a person. Silas.
Hey,
what?
Who's that?
Silas. In the Da Vinci Code, the guy who plays Silas, who is the twisted fucking warrior for the hardcore religious guy, Opus Dei dude.
Oh, it was in the second one, wasn't it?
Oh, really? Am I mixing them up? They're all the same movie to me, right?
Yeah.
No. The second one is the one with Obi-Wan Kenobi, right?
No, it's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's you get confused with him. He's a different. I can't remember his name either.
Oh, it's the bad guy from the Marvel movies.
Don't use Marvel for me.
He played the guy who was in the fire in the 70s Formula One movie with you guys' British champion. What's his name? James Hunt.
Yeah. Oh, he's Bethany, Paul Bettany.
Oh, okay. I wasn't going for him. Yeah. Bettany is the other one I was talking about. Yeah.
It's like two rambling old men talking about movies.
Dear Lord, it's a good idea. It's a good thing we don't have an idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. We should do reviews, movie reviews. And tonight we're reviewing that film. What's it called? That film, and it's got that guy in it who's in a different movie. We haven't even watched the movie. Well, Dick hasn't watched the movie, but we can review it anyway.
Yeah, it's a Jewish director, 2 Canadian comedics, and 3 really pretty American girls.
Maybe we should just start reviewing porn videos or something.
Oh, God. Yeah. The Shills review the best naked yoga sites on YouTube.
It can be one of those reaction videos on YouTube. First time watching pornography.
Oh. Yeah, but the stuff they can slip through on YouTube,
It'd be great, because it'll be that thumbnail, they always are, just like someone with a shocked face.
Yeah.
And just a load of flesh tone behind them blurred out. So,
does anybody work for an airline? Because we're going to need some puke bags, right? Can anybody hook us up? Oh.
I thought you meant we were going to need some flights out of the country pretty fast.
Oh, no, we're all right. We do need some flights for Americans that want to come to Canada, I'm sure, at this point. That's probably a real thing.
Bloody immigrants, you don't need them. Look what it did to the United States. You don't want fucking immigrants in Canada.
Yeah. What did what did they do for America? They made sure agriculture was sustainable and working.
Oh,
They
you mean no? You mean proper immigrants? I mean American immigrants. You don't want Americans immigrating to Canada because
millennials.
yeah. Well, no, if you have Americans coming into Canada, guess what they're going to get to do? They're going to get to vote.
Yeah, and they're going to go shopping and stay in hotels. We don't need
No,
that, right?
no, they'll vote MAGA in and go, oh, for fuck's sake.
Is that what happened to Alberta? You guys just got a swing door? You know what? Canada needs a border wall, but only in Alberta, because obviously that's the problem.
Yeah, just get proper immigrants in, the brown ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Are you brown? Do you just desire a place to live and work and be yourself? We have a place for you because we have a lot of lazy white assholes who do not want to work. And so as such, we have jobs. But unlike America, we won't trick you to show up here and then punk you off and send you home on a plane. We'll actually let you stay.
Can you imagine? So, like the immigration control or the borders of Canada, just a big fucking sign across it saying "No whites." God, that'll piss people off.
Yeah. No white folk. You're all just too lazy. And
you don't know how to vote.
Yeah, exactly. You're so uneducated. We don't even want you crossing our border.
Buying our Canadian beer.
Yeah, but Iranis, Iraqis, Hispanics, Mexicans, everybody from South America and stuff, our border's open to you because it seems from what we can see that y'all know how to actually participate in elections properly, right?
You could do a check. They have this sort of thing. Like immigrants into Britain, and can you speak British? Maybe into Canada. Just do a check. Can you speak Spanish?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do a Spanish check. If you can't speak Spanish, you're not in.
Yeah, for the love of God, we already got enough people that speak French. So can you speak something else? Right?
German, anything.
I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I'm kind of not, but I am. I'm kind of not. I am. I'm kind of not.
Yeah. No, the Germans have learned their lesson. They're just going to invade quietly.
Yeah.
When you're not looking. Every time like an Audi gets imported, there's a German in the boot. They leave him behind.
I hear that there's a new clause when you take the oath to be Chancellor of Germany or however that works. There's an automatic assumption that you will never go on vacation to Warsaw.
Yeah, you got to make sure you've got a return ticket.
Yeah, exactly. If you book a one way, you're fucking toast, man.
Hang on a minute. You got down here as Warsaw. Is this a stopover? You're going to Paris? What's going on
there? I want to say that as a Canadian, even at my age, I don't really know those jokes well. The reason I can play this with Dunk is because I've watched enough British television to understand that Brits are allowed to make these jokes. So I'm going to too,
No, you just hung around with me so much that you've got a working history of World War II.
Yeah. I pretty much got it,
Yeah. It wouldn't be a show. It wouldn't be a show if we did a World War II joke. There's somewhere.
Monty Python, World War II, and I always slip in a South Park reference, right?
Well, Monty Python war movie would have been great. Oh,
we had that. Remember the mosquito netting?
No, they had little snippets. They had like the bit in the meaning of life on the trenches. Bought you a closer.
Yeah, what was it? Part 5, fighting each other.
Bought you a clock, sir.
Yeah,
Bit of a mix-up, sir.
yeah,
We
bit
got
of
you.
a mix-up, so that was awesome. In the end, there's just the one dude left.
Yeah. Yes, we're gonna eat our cake and tables out.
Yeah. Yeah, he was out there in freezing temperatures, stirring the meringue and
Oh dear.
Lord Thunder and Jesus. I have to say, there's two things a Canadian cannot tolerate. Number one, it's a fucking Magite American. But number two, it's an empty beer. I'll be right back.
No. It's a political disaster. Yeah. There'll be marches in the street. You wait. All the Canadians will be out. One more beer. One more beer. One more beer. Oh, dear.
We have UTV and Ham coming in with a donation of $5 to just help keep the lights on and have some fun. You know what, dude? That's the kind of thing that warms my heart, because it does take a few bucks around here to keep the lights on. And when somebody members up or, donates towards that kind of thing, it makes, it's felt. It's felt. Well, that's why I did it up here. I didn't, my hands were on screen, right? Chuck your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
Why's your t-shirt got? Why's your t-shirt got a kebab on it?
No. Look, this is from Mexi Girl in the chat. Right? AM coffee cup, PM, not so much.
Other way around. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at myself reverse because of that whole streaming thing, right? I hate that part. Slavy really hates that too. Yeah. It's easy. If I'm looking behind me, I can say, there's the earth, there's the aquarium, because they're directly behind me. But when I'm doing myself, I always get it wrong.
You shouldn't have said that. That's going to get clipped.
Yeah. Okay.
Is Matt here? Oh shit, he is. Oh dear.
Yeah. I'm gonna hear that one back, I think. Lord Thunder and Jesus. Where are we here? We're not too bad. 45 minutes live, 5:30 my time. I want to bail by about 6 because I can't just drink alcohol. I have to have supper and stuff. And, otherwise my neighbors get a hold of me tomorrow and go, do you remember being outside talking to us last night? And I don't,
naked, shouting.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like,
share, subscribe.
Oh God.
Yeah, helicoptering your cock around going, go on, thumbs up, thumbs up. Like it. Lick it.
The neighbors are running around going, isn't it better when he has his son at home?
And we thought it was bad with the little naked girl running around. Oh no.
Oh God. Oh, you know what? Okay. You guys remember I was telling you about Free Range, the little girl that's always naked running around my little townhouse complex? Well, her brother is only like a year and a half old, and he's running around now, and he's one of those kids where his diaper hangs down to his fucking knees all the time. And so a couple other parents have called on this woman to like the authorities that deal with these matters. And you know what we found out 2 days ago? She's got another bun in the oven.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it naked as well?
Well, she's about, I can only assume that this is Tarzan's developmentally challenged brother that we're about to meet. It's unbelievable. This woman cannot handle this. And so the neighbors collectively are talking, and unfortunately, like, okay, put yourself in my position here. You know that this person is ill-equipped for the situation, for the moment, and more so than anything else, for the children. But do you involve the authorities that therefore bring in maybe a separation? And it's chaotic, traumatic. It's all kinds of, it's so seriously hard to deal with when it's an actual reality in your life, not just a theoretical, hypothetical question. What would you do?
Yeah.
Right? Because there's so many ramifications to the action that you do end up deciding to take. Right? It's huge, man. You don't just take that lightly, right? But what I see is catastrophic, and I would never let my son be a part of. So, right? Wow, dude, holy, But yeah, interesting situation, isn't it?
Interesting development.
Yeah. Admittedly, I don't pay attention as much as some of the other neighbors do because I really keep out of these things and stay in my own little zone. So I do rely on the news and so from a few of the neighbors. But because I'm not always a first party person, that feeds the hesitation, because are they over exaggerating, right?
What you should do, you should start a Facebook group for the whole complex, and just set it up, and then just don't look at it, and then just check in every now and then, just watch all the fighting.
Wow, yeah. Wow,
that would be disastrous.
Yeah, let's ask Mexi Girl and Shayna and Carpathian and PJ in the chat there how much I want to do that.
Well, I thought you were going to ask them to moderate it. That'd be harder work than moderating the Shills channel.
Are you kidding? Each one of them would be like, so I just want to confirm your personal home address. Right? They all import one piece of the weapon and come and visit.
Oh.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm getting close to needing to bail off and get something to eat and stuff. And,
Yeah, that's fair enough. I said we'd keep it a short one tonight.
Yeah. So, I don't know about good consumer advice. Maybe we should give people good political involvement advice.
Well, you could give them bad consumer advice, but go on, do the political thing.
So, you got to make sure that you spend your, as Slavi likes to say, social media credit. You've got to make sure that you're using your voice to push and promote your way of seeing life. Because if you're here watching this, you probably see things properly. And as such, we have, I don't know if it's a moral obligation, but maybe a societal obligation to fight back against some of this crap that's permeating social media and twisting the minds of those who struggle to make craft dinner. You know, right? They need help. And if all we do is pick on them and make fun of them, we're not going to swing them over. So, right?
Yeah. So do both.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Have two accounts. One to shame
picky
them
one.
into the ground, and one to say, hey, maybe come on over and hang out. You see how that works? There was one and there's one. See?
Yeah, you gotta be careful which finger you use there.
Yeah, I think I was choosing properly, actually.
Use the right, use the right one.
What do you think, buddy?
Absolutely.
Shall we send everybody to the oblivion of greatness that was hanging out with us? Because, well, I approve.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you all did the right thing tonight. And make sure you tell your friends that they should have fucking been here too.
If you got any. Probably too busy giving advice to people to have friends.
Yeah, they don't have friends. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from our moderator team. We got Jose, Carpazian, Mexi Girl, Shayna Caldwell, Annette, PJ CNet, Chris Lundy, Liam Wakefield, and there's probably a couple people I haven't mentioned, but that's because they haven't paid their dues this month, and they better fucking pay up. I'm just kidding. I charge them monthly direct to their bank accounts.
Yeah, we're on a subscription service around here.
See you soon, fellow babies. And remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
Stay shitty, you silly buggers. We'll see you next time.